Stay back, mortals. This'll be a bear thing.
Let's help him. Come on.
Oh my god, our beautiful log! So yeah, this level is called Protect the Woods, and it is a big... I was about to say boss rush, but I don't think that is what you would call this. An enemy, a horde, maybe? A horde level? Because of who I am, whenever there are stages like this in a game where it's just an onslaught of enemies that you need to kill a certain number of, I always refer to them in my head as combat arenas, because they just, to me, are, when I think of what, levels like this and what I just described, I think of the combat arena stages from the SpongeBob movie game. So yeah, it's not a particularly hard level. I never noticed that I haven't really died in this game, in this playthrough of it. Meaning both my characters haven't died. That's when you actually have to, like, restart the stage. Or probably just to the last, like, objective you completed. I don't think any of them make you go, like, back to the very beginning of the level, except for the level that we're going to start in this one, spoilers, which is the second to last level, which is more of a level than the actual last level, which is just a boss fight, as you could probably imagine. And so it's a, it's a longer level, it's big, it's got a lot of parts to it. Not a lot, but, yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but that's what this is, Combat Arena. Oh yeah, but, the next level, the Vermtech Heist, it is one that it's the part of the game that I could not finish when I originally would play through this game as a kid. Once again, this was a game that before I owned it, I bought this game pretty fast, but it was one of those that I rented from Blockbuster all the time. And I'd play the fuck out of this game, and I would get up to the Vermtech Heist every time, and I would never be able to beat it. And so I bought the game eventually, being like, okay, now I'm gonna do it, and I still couldn't. And it took me a few years, but it wasn't like a lot of other games that I've LP'd on this channel, a lot of these licensed games that I played as a kid, that I also couldn't entirely beat when I first played them. Like Battle for Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob movie game, all the SpongeBob games, honestly, like, except for Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, I guess, and, like, Atlantis SquarePants, but that, like, I wouldn't even want to finish that game. But, like, yeah, I couldn't finish Battle for Bikini Bottom because of the very last mission, and the Rolling Ballroom. I couldn't finish the movie game because of Planktopolis. I couldn't finish Lights, Camera, Pants. Now, that was not my inability, that was a problem with my copy of the game. Would always freeze during the Rubble Rabble level, in the second to last section of the game. So, yeah. And then Creature from the Krusty Krab, I could never get past the Plankton level. All, for me now, completely doable, levels, but when I was a little baby, I don't know. And I mean, I think it's good. If anything, this revisiting of licensed games, I haven't really had all that many, like, deep thoughts about these games. I think some of them have spurred good discussion about certain things, but the games themselves are pretty simple, but I think that's why I enjoy returning to them and playing them, is because just experientially it's a very simple sort of game. It's simple pleasures, and I think there is challenge to these games, but never to the point of not feeling like completing the game. But yeah, I think the main thing that I've gotten out of returning to these games is that I've confirmed that I have improved at playing video games, at least in terms of my ability to execute things. I don't think I have too much, like, I wish my critical thinking in video games was better. I don't love to have my hand held, I mean, depending on the game, of course, throughout a whole game of what to be doing at every moment, but there are some times where I really am, like, my brain just farts out, and I'm like, I do not know what they want me to do.
Hello? Aren't you all forgetting something? We have to find our way inside first. That's sort of how entrances work in the real world and all.
There's no time for thought or success. We have to get Heather out now.
Buddy, no one steals the daughter of the friend I used to want to eat and gets away with it. Let's roll. Well, I'm really jonesing for a scrap.
Yeah, I was telling Custard when we were playing this game. By the way, I just showed off the mini games there, which we've unlocked almost all of. And me and him got netplay working on this game, and so we were playing some of the mini games, which we'll hopefully be doing in a bonus episode for this LP. And I was telling him about the fact that when I was a kid and I couldn't beat this game and I was stuck on the Vermtech Heist level, I would just, when I owned it, I would just pop the game in and just replay other levels to get all the other objectives and collectibles, or I would play the mini games, or I would just dick around. And but I was stuck on that part with Vermtech Heist, and so Vincent was always there near the bulletin board, and so I just got used to every single time I went over to the board hearing that fucking, "Oh, I'm really jonesing for a scrap." And so that little blurb is permanently etched into my mind, like many things from these licensed games that I love and know so well. Anyway, here's the Vermtech Heist. This is the thing. This is it. This is the Vermtech Heist. Sorry.
It's glory. Okay, all we have to do is break in there, save Heather, and get out without dying.
Yay! The rats have come to help.
This is the second to last level, but basically the last level. As I said, this is the last true level where you do objectives and stuff. I mean, I guess you do objectives. You know what I fucking mean. And there are two things that I've been meaning to just comment on. They're not, like, super awesome or whatever. They're just little observations or whatever. But, one is the music. I don't know if I've commented on the music in this game before. I mean, other than the fact that it's very loud, just because the sound mix of this game is extremely weird and loud. But beyond being loud, like, when I actually listen to it when I'm playing the game, and yeah, I'm just speeding this up because just moving around and then, I mean, getting the hat is cool, I guess. Yeah, and then just defeating more rats and weasels, I just figured wasn't super interesting. This video is already a little bit long as it is, so just saving up a little bit of time here. Leaving it for the main course.
I don't want to hurt you, little marsupialis. I just have a nice hat for your head.
Help me! Help!
Ha! You think you're the first possum to try and get on this elevator? Guess again.
I like how they just fucking gave up on animating the mouths at the end of the game. But anyway, the music in this game, it's like wild. A lot of the songs have like a million layers to the instrumentation. And it's something that I think is true of a lot of the music in like cartoon video games of the mid-2000s, where the music got increasingly like wacky and for lack of a better term, polyphonic, And apparently that was not me setting off the camera trap. I guess I wasn't standing in it for long enough. But yeah, at the end of this level, I get the secondary objective that of like not to trigger the camera traps, even though I thought that I just got hit by one. But whatever. And I think you could say something similar for a lot of children's entertainment of the time, and probably now, although I don't really watch children's television or anything very much now, but or at least not current children's television, of course. But yeah, it was like, for lack of a better term, like polyphonic music, just very like I said, just lots of layers to the production. And I don't necessarily mean that as a good or bad thing, it's just an observation. But like the Madagascar video game music, a lot of the music in that has that kind of feature to it. Creature from the Krusty Krab and other, and even like the SpongeBob movie game have things like that. I don't think Battle for Bikini Bottom does. I actually think comparatively, even compared to just the movie game, I actually think the music is a lot more stripped down in Battle for Bikini Bottom. Like, there aren't so many instrumental things going on in each song, or at least not as many. But yeah, it's just like, and it's usually a combination of like crazy bombastic orchestral stuff, or like, you know, actual instrumental stuff, you know what I mean, and like you know, digital sounds, like synthesizer sounds. I don't know if that's something other people have noticed, or like what may be the influence of that, like for like cartoony video games. But I also think it's true for just a lot of things in the 2000s of being, I don't want to say overproduced, because like I said, sometimes I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but you know, like the pop music from then, and I mean, the pop music now as well, but the 2000s I think is where that really came to a head. That like feature of you know, pop music. And when I say pop music, I mean that more aesthetically than just, you know, what was popular, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm not a music dude as much as I am a movie guy and stuff, so I kind of feel like I'm, you know, talking out my ass whenever I give my opinions on music, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I hope that makes sense to somebody. The other thing I wanted to mention was, I failed to mention it when it happened because I think it was at the end of a video, but in one of the earlier cutscenes of this game, Hammy says something about, like, they're gonna make us smell like Stella or whatever, and Stella says, "What did you just say?" And he says, something, yay. And for a while, when I was a kid and I first played through this game, I thought that he was saying something gay, as in just like something gay. I was saying something gay, and I was shocked. I didn't know why. I didn't understand it, and it was just in a long line of mishearing lines in children's media as something else, which I and many of my family members have done for years. One of the first ones being in the movie Emperor's New Groove. I remember when me and my sisters first watched that movie together, there's a part where he throws an acorn at a squirrel and he says, "Hit the road, Bucky." And now in hindsight, I know that the squirrel's name canonically is Bucky because the squirrel like becomes a character in the show Emperor's New School. And but this was way before that show came out. But he makes his mouth, they draw it, and it makes like an F shape, and so we thought that he was saying, "Hit the road, fucky." Which, like, why would he be calling a squirrel fucky? I don't know, but it's kind of a weird insult, but that's what we thought, and this is like a G-rated film, so we were stunned. And the other one was Aladdin, and this is when we had it on VHS. So maybe the sound wasn't all that great. And I've heard multiple... we're not the only ones to think that this is what Aladdin is saying, and I'll describe what it is. But I have heard, like on the internet and from just other people in my life, them thinking that it was something vulgar, but thinking it was something else. And I forget what Disney's, like, official explanation for what it is. But it's just weird, because it's an animated film. Like, lines of dialogue don't just show up in animated films. Like, it's a recording that you chose to put there, so why is it... Anyway, there's a part after Aladdin... I think it's after they do A Whole New World and all of that. And the tiger is Raja is attacking him on the balcony, on Jasmine's balcony in the palace, and he's sitting on the edge of the balcony, and the tiger is like nipping at his feet or whatever, and he's saying like down kitty, and like mumbling, things to the tiger, or is it? It's a tiger, right? Yeah, it's a tiger. Like muttering things to get it to go away, and if you, I still to this day maintain that it sounds like he's saying, "Good teenagers take off their clothes," and I mean, not like it doesn't sound like a declaration or whatever he's saying. He says it in a really weird way, but I don't know. Look up the scene, turn it up, and listen to it. Tell me what you think. Maybe I haven't seen it in a while, or at least. The last time I saw it, I wasn't paying close enough attention, and it is pretty quiet, but I vividly remember at least one night where me and my sister were watching Aladdin on VHS and rewinding furiously several times on that part and turning the volume up as loud as we could to hear what he was saying. And I certainly don't know. So anyway, yeah, if anyone else has cool, funny, similar, mistaking lines and things for more nefarious things, then please share. I'd love to know that I'm not the only one. The other one that has some actual credibility is the use of Jackass in the SpongeBob movie. That's one that Christian Spotlight had a particular issue with. I'm amazed that I didn't get caught by these cameras. It really looked like I was going to. And I remember this level being so much harder. Like, I honestly don't even know at what point in this level was the part that I kept dying at. I think it's the elevator section, which is coming up later. I don't know if I think the enemies in these sections, in these rooms, might be randomized, because, at least to some degree, because I seem to remember those, spinning blade, like, computer monitor, enemies, like the ones that are the bushes or the barrels, but they're on a, like, standing computer. I remember those being in this and them causing me a lot of problems when I played this as a kid, but I don't know what it is. I wonder what those little tubs are. They look like the tubs for what is it? Whey, WHEY protein. I still don't know what that is. Like, I know what it is. I've looked up like what it is and what's in it and what it supposedly does for you, but like I don't know if I've seen it. I don't know. I just don't know what do people do with it? Do you just, like, put it in stuff? Do you make, like, a shake out of it? Is it for, like, a protein shake, I guess? I don't know. I'm not a Gorilla Juice head, so I don't know I don't know how to get swole. I don't know what the proper whey preparation is. Anyway, there you go. You just pull the switches to get the bitches, and then you get on the elevator. So there's going to be a little bit of an awkward cutting off point in a little bit because this level is very long, and if I kept it going to the end up until the boss fight, this video would be about 30 minutes long. And I didn't want to do that, but I also didn't want to edit down going into each of the rooms because I figure it's the last level, and even though I did speed up that one part, I didn't want to speed up a bunch of it, which is what I would have to do to make it not a super long video. The next video will be a little bit long just because they will include the credits, or it will include the credits, but it shouldn't be too bad. This is a very strange camera angle that it keeps using for this. I don't know what it's supposed to be communicating to me. I guess just that it's going down. Is it just because the camera is fixed in this point, so it just can only do like an awkward camera angle? And it's never like where we're standing. Like it always moves me out of the I don't know. I don't understand. I won't pretend to understand this game. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, it is nice to know, because again, I remembered this being way hard. I was really prepared to have to do this multiple times, and neither of the characters even died once during this whole thing. I was worried about this part because this is as far as I ever got. This wasn't always the part that tripped me up. Sometimes I would get fucked up even before this. And yeah, it's really dumb bullshit that they keep the cutscene going until the door of the elevator closes, which gives the enemies a ton of time to get right up your ass, so that you get hit as soon as you can start moving again. I love when games do that. Yeah, it's not too bad. Didn't ever die, and it was mostly smooth sailing, I think. Not to deflate the tension of the ending, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, next time we will continue being stuck on an elevator and then kill the exterminator. That rhymed.